His Imperial Majesty Emperor Haile Selassie I speech to the UN Committee on Independence for Colonial Countries. On behalf of ourselves, our government and the Ethiopian people, we are pleased to welcome once more distinguished members of the United Nations Special Committee on the Situation with regard to the implementation of the Declaration on the Granting of Independence to colonial countries and peoples. The importance of this committee cannot be overemphasized. Its intrinsic value lies in its attempt to foster the achievement by the UN of one of the fundamental human rights, which is to lead peoples and countries still under colonial yoke to freedom and independence. We are all cognizant of the fact that the struggle for freedom must and will always end in victory. Freedom being the aim of this committee, it shall be achieved. There is no question as to whether freedom should be attained, but rather how best it should be reached. Thus, the main concern of this committee becomes to suggest ways and means to achieve this end as best as it could. It is in its choice of means that the committee encounters monumental problems. We are conscious that there are opposing forces at work, on the one hand the indigenous forces which unceasingly search for complete freedom, and on the other, the Jesuit forces of economic oppression which attempt to deter freedom. A typical example of such conflict of forces is the unlawful government in southern Rhodesia. Except for such proponents of injustice like South Africa and Portugal, all freedom-loving states have condemned this racist and minority government. We trust that majority rule will take over in Zimbabwe. But how and when? It is here that the committee has to apply itself and suggest means. Since the measures that have been tried to force down the illegal government seem to be ineffective, this committee will have to consider other methods that we can perhaps adopt in concert. No matter how hard the choice may be, we are confident that the members of this committee will fulfill the noble task entrusted to them. We know that as long as there are men who believe that one race is superior to the other and that they can lead the destinies of other men by any means, there shall be no peace. As long as there is going to be groundless irredentism and interference in other states' internal affairs, there is still not going to be peace. It is only by adhering to the principles set out in the charters of the United Nations and the Organization of African Unity that we can achieve our aims, and that our unity will grow stronger. On our part, we assure you that we will never tire in our endeavors to free our brethren who are still under the yoke of colonialism. We are aware that the job you are charged with is not easy, but we hope and pray that See Magziaber, elect of God, will guide you during your deliberations. July 7, 1966.
Give thanks for watching, and if you need more information or wish to participate with a human rights contribution, then please feel free to contact us at kingdomofdebrecit2020@gmail.com in human rights solidarity. Blessings.